Hello. Please hit like button and subscribe my channel. Also press bell icon for future video notifications. Thanks.
They're a dramatic subject for nature documentaries. In the southern hemisphere winter, swirling masses of silvery Pacific sardines, Sardine sagics, migrate up the east coast of South Africa into the Indian Ocean. But for some, the trip ends too soon. Along the way, predators such as seabirds and marine mammals feast on the massive collection of fish, often dubbed the greatest shoal on Earth. Indeed, according to a study published September 15 in Science Advances, the KwaZulu-Natal sardine run is an ecological trap, a scenario where the fish. Very little is known about the fate of these sardines, says Peter Teske, a marine biologist at the University of Johannesburg and one of the authors of the study, in an email to the scientist. But he and his colleagues conclude that unlike many migrations, which can be linked to feeding, reproduction, or both, the sardine run is something of a dead end. Fisheries to the south and west of the Cape make the sardine one of southern Africa's most commercially important fish, but the western fishery has declined. One of the goals of the study was to understand why southern sardines weren't repopulating the western fishery. See, little fish in a big pond. Fewer than 10% of all sardines living off the South African coast participate in the winter migration, which only happens in certain years, depending on whether upwellings of cool water occur off the southeastern coast. Trapped between the warm current and the shore, sardines in this area have only a small space to travel north. Why they go north at all has never been totally clear, but when they do, this stretch of narrow continental shelf brings together large numbers of them, forming the famous run that draws predators, human fishers, and tourists alike. In the study, the research team set out to test the hypothesis that only a certain subgroup of sardines participate in the migration and explore why those sardines make the trip. We initially suspected that there must be 3 stocks, or distinct subpopulations, of sardines, Teske explains: east, west, and south, corresponding to the different water temperatures on different sides of the Cape. Comparing their DNA and mRNA, they found single nucleotide polymorphisms, SNPs, that were more common in western, Atlantic fish, while others tended to be found in southern, Indian Ocean ones, but they found no evidence for a third stock. Dolphins pursuing fish during a sardine run. Stephen Benjamin: as far as we can tell, the West Coast sardines associate with upwelling regions, and they do not find many of those on the South Coast. So they will likely keep moving until suitable habitat is found, Teske continues. The Atlantic fish simply need cooler water, and they'll follow it in the direction they find it, including those temporary pockets of upwelling. That is, the behavior that drives them to seek cool water tricks them into swimming up the eastern coast into stressful warmer water instead. That's to say nothing of the dangers: hungry sharks, dolphins, seabirds, and more waiting for a tasty treat. It's possible, he says, that they migrate there in order to take advantage of temporarily productive ocean conditions at the Western Cape. So if the area doesn't suit them, he asks, why don't they just do the reverse? Why don't they move back? Teske speculates that one reason there's no mass migration in the opposite direction of the run could be hungry predators following the sardines from the southeast, cutting off the return path. Closing parenthesis. Research like this ultimately helps to manage fisheries. We don't want to manage 2 groups of fish that largely reproduce separately as though they were one group of fish that all reproduce together, says MacDonald. By showing that west and south populations of sardines are distinct, Teske says, we can not only explain this collapse, but also convince fishery management that if they overfish this region, the local sardine population will not simply get replenished from the south coast. In other words, we'll. Please support my channel to grow by pressing subscribe button and the bell icon. We will notify you technological news. Thank you.